Hi, I am Kate Silbaugh, and I'm at the law school. The first thing I want to say is that, nope, not my slide? There we go. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for everybody for doing all this work and spending all this time on good research for humans. I am going to talk to you about age gates, legal age gates, which is what I think about. I'm going to talk about what they are. I'm going to talk about what misconceptions we have about them. I'm going to talk about how they're different from individualized determinations in law. And then I'm going to give you some examples from my work. I've been working on this for the past 6 or 7 years. Okay, so an age gate is the legal age at which a legal burden or a legal benefit becomes universally accessible, or the idea is universally accessible. Okay, so burdens and benefits are a little bit, there's always a little bit of both in each of these, but an example of a burden is the burden of self-support at age 18. Responsibility for imprudent contracts also happens at 18. Military service, notice again a trend, happens at 18. And adult criminal culpability between 16, 18, and now possibly 21. Example of benefits would be voting, that happens at 18, driving, making unsupervised decisions about travel, work, or life, where to live, and then alcohol, tobacco, cannabis, firearms, benefits or burdens, you decide. The basic misconceptions about age gates in the world at large is that they reflect knowledge about developmental psychology or science. They don't, okay? They are more contingent, more historically path-dependent than that. And just to give you one example that's important to me, this comes from the development of our age of majority, which is probably at 18 the most important age. In the 1970s, we had a 21 age of majority everywhere. It went down to 18 following the adoption of the 26th Amendment, which was how we got the right to vote for 18-year-olds. Why do we get the right to vote for 18-year-olds? Because we lowered the draft age from 21 to 18. And not based on an assessment of maturity. The draft age was based on different considerations than maturity. So despite the still emerging decision-making capacity of youth, ages 18 to 25, the right to vote at 18 and 18-year-old military conscription accelerated adult legal age gates in lots of contexts, okay? So I focus on age gates, not individualized assessments, and you know that there's a lot of people out there who work on individualized assessments in law, particularly with sentencing and healthcare decision-making, and they are not feasible in all contexts, and moreover, universal age gates can be protective of childhood, particularly in contexts where the alternative is discretion by a decision maker like a school resource officer or judge or police officer, particularly because they tend to overestimate the age of black children versus white children, for example. I consider more systematic ways to engage with age gates. So here's 4 examples from my work. The first is about social media. Okay, so corporations ignore common law doctrines that have protected people up to the age of 18 in terms of contracts and in terms of your family's ability to protect you from third parties. Social media companies have busted right through those typical age gates. That should matter to us. Waivers of liability, the NFL and sports leagues created a dynamic with concussion legislations that weakened protection for minors from waiving their rights to suit for personal injury. The tobacco industry, my biggest current passion. I've been working at the local government level and have been successful in 14 municipalities in this state, creating a generational phase-out of policy, which gives a birth date, and it counteracts the industry's effort to use the immaturity of emerging adults to addict them by phasing out tobacco after that birth date. And then I think, just to leave you with a little controversy at the end, I've been working on this question of Vote 16, which is a social movement to allow 16-year-olds to vote, and I am concerned that it will have negative consequences re-anchoring our sense of age gates. Thank you guys again.